Hi, I'm Julia Stege, the magical marketer and the compiler of The Moment I Said Yes, Stories of Soul-Led Trailblazers Turning Purpose into a Way of Life. I'm here with Elaine Correia, who has written a chapter called The Body Speaks, A Spirit Unbound, the Incarnation Guide. So thanks, Elaine, for coming and talking to us today.
Oh, my pleasure.
My first question is, what actually inspired you to be a part of this anthology, this moment I said yes? What spoke to you about it?
Well, I got your email about it, and at first I wasn't going to do anything because, I was writing fiction.
You write your own
Yeah,
books.
I write my own books, and then I started thinking, I need to become more visible. Maybe this is a way for me to get out of my shell and become more visible. And one thing led to the next. Um, And so I thought, well, okay, I'll write something, try something different, and I'll try writing something a little more um, true instead of more, everything enshrouded in
Personal
fiction.
too. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's how I ended up here.
So what was that like for you to be writing in this a different it's a different style, it's a different
Yeah,
purpose, right? Like when you're writing novels, you can put yourself in there, but nobody knows.
that's exactly right. Yeah. So that you took the words right out of my mouth because I'm a very private person and I don't share. I mean, you see this, what's on the surface here, but I don't share my deepest feelings. And actually, the journey of writing my novels made me have to look at that. And so here I'm coming out with personal information out into the world, and it's very vulnerable. And and I mean, it was even more vulnerable than hiding behind a fictional character, which is
Yes.
still me, but it's just, there's this barrier between me and uh, and the reader, where this here is much more, um, I don't know, how would you say? It's just more down to my core essence is being revealed, and it's been a good experience. I mean, I really appreciated the help you had given us to begin with because really didn't know, okay, so what did I say yes to in my life? And how did that affect me? And at first I was going to say, well, how write about how I said yes to writing, but then I thought that isn't a big enough, that wasn't life-changing yes. And so I had to go through my whole life and figure out, okay, well, I said yes, and this affected me, and I said yes, and that affected me, and I said yes to a whole bunch of other people, and that led my life that direction. And how do I say yes to myself that leads me back in my direction?
Right.
And so that's where I ended up coming up with the it's more recent health crisis that made me had to choose to follow my spirit.
Yeah, saying yes to other people can
So
be that
yeah.
kind of situation, huh?
So, yeah, it's still an ongoing process. This yes thing is not something you just say yes once
Yeah.
and 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 the whole world changes. It just doesn't happen that way. It's like yes, and then you get a little challenge, and then you have to say, "Oh, I remember I said yes to that." And you got to choose it again. So it's like a constant series of choices.
Well, I like how you brought in your chapter all the way back into the yes to even come to the planet.
Oh, yeah,
Not
I
to
love
give too
that
much
so much.
away.
My the next anthology you're doing is going to have a little bit more of that too. So,
Yes,
yeah.
yeah. Well, I'm into that conversation too, as you know. Um, but that a lot of the different authors are saying that they noticed that one less yes led to another,
Yeah.
and that you don't always know where it's going,
No.
as it's happening.
I know that's where I like to fall back on what makes it make sense for me is like, okay, my soul had arranged this whole thing, the interaction with the people I engage with, the challenges that I set up, which
Yeah,
I do a lot of astrology and I keep studying my chart. Why did I get this challenge?
I know. It's sort of like, oh, well, that's sort of obvious now that I look at my chart, but did it have to happen that way?
Well, I know, and here we are in our little innocence in our soul. Oh yeah, last life was great. Let's go do it again.
Yeah. Let's go do it again. What were you thinking? But so did you feel like this process brought something out that you hadn't even realized before?
Yeah, actually, it did. The whole process of going through and evaluating and reflecting on it brought up a whole bunch of stuff, memories throughout my life, and I had a lot of time to reflect on the choices that I made. Yes is basically a choice, and the choices that I'd made that were either supporting myself or choices that deferred myself to another person.
Yeah.
Um, and how they affected me. And then I began to, if you step back, then you sort of like see, well, this was a progression. And all along, this is where you get back to the soul purpose again. All along, if you look back, step back and look at it, it's like this is a series of progressions that get you to where you are and where you're heading. And even though we don't think we're living our soul purpose, we actually are because there's this invisible force that keeps directing us and providing us with these experiences to have to choose, and each choice, there's no wrong choices. It's just different experiences.
Well, it even looks sometimes I look at my own choices and I think, what were you thinking? But then when like what you're saying, when you look at what happened because of that choice,
Yeah.
that's the only choice that there was that would lead here.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Because
that's where it's
otherwise it wouldn't have happened.
yeah, and that's where you get back to the idea, well, there's a bigger picture here that we're dealing with.
Yeah.
Whether you want to call it God or if you want, I prefer to call it, my soul has an agenda,
Yeah.
and we go back and hash it out every time I want to come here. And so,
Sometimes I'm like, Soul, could you have made this a little, or if it's God, like you're the omnipotent, couldn't you have made that a little easier,
oh, I
maybe?
asked that. Can't you give me a little break?
Can't you give me a break now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. And I love what you're saying about you're bringing out a little bit about the yeses that we say to other people. Nobody else brought that up.
Ah,
None of the other authors brought that up. The yes that we say to somebody else, though there are no wrong yeses,
no,
but
that's exactly
still that it brings a consciousness to the now.
right.
Am I saying the right yes?
Yeah, it raises the question now. It's like, is this yes really in the direction that my soul wants me to go? Is it going to support me or is it going to be taking away my energy?
For no good reason.
Right. Well, at least no good reason that I can think of right now. I mean, there's always, there's always good. I mean, it's that there's always a blessing inside of every challenge. That's one of the things that I've learned over my
Yeah,
life is that
there
there's
absolutely.
always a kernel, there's always a gold nugget. Sometimes it takes a while to find it.
Yeah, and sometimes even though you know it, it doesn't
Still
feel.
doesn't feel good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes the stuff just doesn't, that's life on Earth, and
Hmm.
that's why I really like your story, starting the story before coming down, because we're up there and it's like we
Yeah, that's right.
and we're down here and it's like you know
Well, then we forget. So then we spend the rest of our life trying to remember.
trying to remember. It's so weird. Like, who set it up? I don't know. I might have some questions about how that works, but I'm not exactly God, so I don't really get a choice in the matter. But maybe we are. Maybe we'll come up with something a little easier later once
Yeah.
we've learned our lesson, which we
Yeah.
apparently haven't.
Well, and I think people who have a lot of challenges, they're strong, and challenges make you strong. And so, yeah, I know I've always been envious of all the people that have such an easy thing. And I wonder what would happen if I had an easy life. And then I realized, I probably wouldn't do the things that I've done, and I
I
wouldn't have
certainly
learned the things that I've learned.
I
So,
don't even want their life. Like
yeah.
when like you sometimes you look at Facebook is a terrible, terrible place for comparisоnism,
Mm-hmm.
and I was looking at a friend who I had, when I was a child, and there's her child's wedding, and I'm like, wow, her child is just like her, you know,
Oh,
and their
mhm.
whole life is just like it was.
Yeah.
There's nothing has changed in her life at all. It's the same life, that she had as a child. It's just a little
Right.
bit progressed, a little
Right.
more money or something like that, but like
Yeah.
same town, same schools, same people, same places, that they visit every day. It's all the same. And
Hmm.
I think, well, sure, it's been kind of hard, but maybe I'm glad I'm not in the same
Yeah.
place. Like, what if I were in the same place?
Yeah.
What would I have really learned? I wouldn't be talking to you right now, Elaine. We wouldn't be talking about this. We
No.
wouldn't be talking about the yes. That's a hard yes to
Hmm.
say to
Hmm.
ourselves that puts us on the trailblazing leading edge where nobody else is. You look around and you're like, whoops, nobody else here. Like Abraham Hicks says, there's never a crowd on the leading edge.
Right.
And
And,
yet, we want to be popular. We want to have readers for our books, and
right.
there's things that we want, but like the lessons that we get from saying yes to the difficult yes, the difficult question of are
Right.
you going to be yourself? And are you
Yes to
going
yourself, in other words.
to
And
follow your
that's
soul? It goes someplace
yeah.
further than the previous life went.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. And it's hard to say yes to yourself because this is why you're talking about the leading edge here. We're in an age where the old patriarchal system is being challenged and reframed, and so here we are as women, we're coming up and saying, well, I want to have time to myself and I need to do this and that and take care of myself. And I'm going to, you go take care, you go
I
make
have a
your
thing
own
to say
dinner.
about this.
Yeah, you go make your own dinner. I'm going to go read my book. I mean, that's kind of a, real short summary of it, but we're up against that. And because I've started speaking out in my relationship, it caused all sorts of trouble.
You're such a troublemaker.
And,
I
and,
do love that. You go make your own dinner. I'm going to go read my book. What if my life looked like that? Right? We'll try that one later on. Oops, I'm knocking down my backdrop. So
But it's hard to, so this is where we are as leading edge. It's like, we have to retrain, our partners or even the other people. And of course, they are just as indoctrinated in the patriarchy and the way they're supposed to believe and not and they're supposed to not have feelings and all that stuff. And I mean, the whole thing's a mess. And so
the
we
not having feelings thing, that's one of the biggest tragedies of the human experience. It, it causes all sorts of problems. Well, so how was it for you? And you're a lone writer, and
Yeah, I'm a
uh,
I'm a loner. I'm one
how
of
was
those, and
it
I
to?
don't like to wait for people to get things done.
Well, you were the first to get your chapter in. Um, how was it to like bring your voice into a collective like this?
Uh, it's different. I haven't done this before, but it's a little bit, so there's a little part of me that says, am I good enough? Am I going to measure up to what everybody else
They're
is
saying that
doing?
about you.
Oh, well, I guess that's just a common human thing then. We're always doubting
Oh
ourselves.
my God, she's written like 8 books.
And so, but yeah, and but it was nice to be part of a group. And I haven't, I mean, that's a new thing for me to be actually working in a group that's kind of like a cohesive group. I mean, I've run employees, but that's like, I was a woman boss and they were men. It's like, this is the patriarchal thing again. So, but it's nice to be in a woman's group they kind of like, I don't know, women just think differently.
Yeah,
You
we
know, they're
do.
more, they're more like the idea of working together and
That's how we roll.
supporting each other.
Yeah.
And I like that. That was
So it's
nice.
not a competition. It's not like, well, I'm the one that knows, and so I've written all these books.
Right. No, I'm
That's not
humble
you.
about that.
That's
I
not
mean,
you
I
at
do
all.
have a lot of experience in writing because I've taken a lot of classes and I've done a lot of studying and I've worked with a lot of editors and then of course, then AI comes along and then my son taught me how to work with that and so I
Yeah.
make my own images and so the
You
thing was
make
with
beautiful
writing
images.
this
Yeah.
is that I wrote things up and then I would take and I'd put it in a Claude and I say, okay, tell me what's wrong with this. And what do I need to add? And what do I need to take out? And how do I
Yeah.
make this more cohesive? And rather than have Claude write it, I just tell him, tell me what I need to do. And so then he'd say the suggestions. And so I'd go and rewrite it. Then I put it back in and say, okay, as a developmental editor, tell me what's wrong with this.
Yeah. So
You know,
you got even an extra layer of developmental editing.
yeah, so I use that. And then when I got tired of Claude, I send it over to Gemini or Chat,
Yeah,
just to
I
get
like
another
Gemini.
opinion. And between them all, it's kind of each one had their own opinions, but it
Yeah,
helped
they
me
do.
helped me. The big thing Claude says, you got too many yeses in here. You got to focus on one. And
There's
it's
a
like,
lot of yeses in
oh,
some of the other chapters too.
yeah.
Yeah.
And, because I knew what I wanted to come out. I knew how I wanted it to come out. I wanted it to be a cohesive, short story and instead of rambling along because I had all sorts of ramblings and it kept going, you need to focus on one. Yes.
Okay, Claude. I might disagree with that, but if it worked for you, then that's good.
Well, I consolidated the other yeses into just a couple of paragraphs.
Well, you have different sections of it too, so
Yeah.
it's like you got to say what you wanted to say.
Yeah. Well, that was the main thing is, I mean, so I guess I'd have to say that I was not writing nonfiction in the sense of laying out facts. I was approaching this from the point of writing a short story, a fictional
Yeah,
short story, only this was real life experience.
yeah.
And so, that's how I told Claude to edit this was to say, okay, tell me what I need to do to make this more interesting.
Do you feel like it's going to change your fiction writing to have done this?
Um, well, every time I do some writing and work through the whole experience, it does change my writing because for one thing, I have a lot more depth in myself. So
Hmm.
whatever I'm going to write next is going to have more depth, whether, I want to admit it or not. It's just, I mean, because writing is really, um, it's revealing what's inside you. The choice of words, the way you structure the sentences. That's why I don't like to have AI write for me. They can
Yeah.
tell me what's wrong and I'll fix it.
Yeah.
But they do not understand word choice. They don't understand the syntax,
Oh,
the flow of the sentence, and they
mm.
don't understand the way the concept works or what the
Well,
point you're trying to get across.
they don't actually have intuition.
No.
And so what as writers, we have a process, mine looks like what was that? What word wants to come here? And then I just wait for it. And then
Hmm.
the word comes. I
Hmm.
don't need to ask a robot what the word is because the word the words have always come.
Right.
That's my process.
Hmm.
And as a poet, you know, each word is really important. And
Right.
the robot puts in all sorts of the same words every time. And then you
I
start
know.
saying, every time I see an AI, it's got this word in it. I'm just
It says
forgetting
chat
it.
was into whispering.
Yeah, whispering and quietly. And so, so for the readers that dive into your chapter who want to kind of pursue your concepts a little further, did you have a little resource that you're going to offer them?
Well, I have a free prequel to my Rebel Healer series. Um,
Rebel Healers, we're going to have a lot of people liking that one. A
um,
prequel to it.
yeah, so it's a short story,
Oh,
but
yay.
it's well, I wrote the series and then I had to write the short story because it's like, how did she end up here? And then of course then I wrote another short story that I haven't got published yet,
I
but
really like that
of
idea.
of of the Nanamagog, she's the main healer and well, all the healers in my story have magical powers. Um, but it's not the same as the sorcerers. They got different magical powers.
Okay, different ones.
But so yeah,
I
it's
love
sort of
that
like,
idea of having a prequel as a gift to give people,
yeah. Well,
and
I
it
can
can go
thank,
to people who get the book too.
yeah, yeah, because yeah, it's on my website. They can just sign up for, just go sign up for it. And then they'll get the prequel, and then if they want to go further, they can do whatever they want to do. I have other short stories that I'm going to be uploading, so as soon as I get them finished. Now that I'm freed up, I don't have to do caregiving. I want to get back into my writing again. So,
Oh, lovely. I love that. So what is if you could have the reader of your chapter have any experience or walk away with anything, what would you like them to walk away with from reading your chapter?
well, my whole life I've been working with trying to heal psoriasis. And see, here we talk about the soul plan again.
Hmm.
Um, it has led me down this healing path, which has come to where I've come to the end point that says, okay, my body is smarter than I am, smarter than my head. And so if I listen to it, it will help steer me in the right direction.
Right.
And so if they can read my chapter and connect those dots, that would be really nice because it will help them uh, make better choices in their life
Yeah.
because life is all about choices and then seeing what happens.
Yeah. I
And
like that.
so yeah,
Okay. Well, thanks, Elaine.
yeah, it's
Such
been
a
fun
pleasure to
talking
have
to you.
you in our book, and thanks for coming and talking with us today.
Yeah, it's been fun talking to you.
Thank you.